The person who starts a war for a forgiving God is not confused. They are using God as a weapon because they do not believe God is watching. If you truly felt a being of infinite awareness and perfect judgment standing behind every person you hated, you could not swing the sword. You would feel the weight of that gaze. But you do not feel it. The God you claim to follow is not the God you actually serve. The real God you serve is the one that justifies your anger, your tribe, your need to be right. That God is small. That God is made in your image. And that God demands blood because you do. You are thinking this is about religion. It is not. It is about the story you tell yourself to feel safe. The question is not whether all religions started from the same story. The question is why you need the story to be exclusive at all. The answer is not faith. The answer is that certainty is a drug, and doubt is withdrawal. You do not fight for God. You fight because the moment you admit another version might also be true, you lose the war between you and the terror of not knowing. So you double down. You kill. You call it devotion. But what you are really doing is trying to silence the part of yourself that already knows. If God is real, God is bigger than your religion, and that means you have been fighting for a cage you built yourself. This mechanism begins early. The child who grows up in a house where love is conditional learns to perform certainty before they learn to feel it. They watch which beliefs keep the parent calm, which questions bring the storm, and they build a self that only survives by knowing, not by searching, by already knowing. The doubt does not disappear. It goes underground. It becomes the secret they guard most violently, because the secret is the only true thing they own. The public certainty is the performance. The private doubt is the self. And the gap between them is where the violence lives. You thought of someone else just now. That is the protection working. The evolutionary piece is simpler than people pretend. The tribal brain needed rapid cohesion more than it needed accurate belief. The one who hesitated to identify the enemy was eaten. The one who questioned the group's sacred story was expelled. Certainty was survival. Doubt was luxury. The problem is that the brain that evolved for lion attacks now sits in traffic, now scrolls through arguments with strangers, now faces questions that have no quick resolution. The mechanism is obsolete, but still operational. It fires on social media with the same urgency it once fired at the edge of the firelight. The body does not know the difference between a threat to the tribe and a threat to the narrative. Both feel like death. What this looks like in practice is not dramatic. It is daily. The person who sends the angry email at midnight, who needs the last word in the thread, who cannot let the comment section close without their correction. They are not defending God. They are defending the internal structure that keeps their doubt from surfacing. Every argument they win is a temporary plug in the dam. The water does not stop rising. The work of certainty is endless because the doubt does not actually go away. It waits. It gets heavier. The person becomes more exhausted, more brittle, more desperate for the next hit of being right. In relationships, this shows up as the need to be the reasonable one, the spiritual one, the one who has done the work. They use the language of growth to maintain position. They say, "I am boundaries," when they mean, "I cannot tolerate being questioned." They say, "I am protecting my peace," when they mean, "I will exile anyone who reflects my uncertainty back to me." The partner who stays must learn to perform certainty too, or leave. Most learn to perform. The relationship becomes a mutual non-aggression pact built on shared denial. Both parties agree not to mention the gap between what they claim and what they feel. The intelligent person's version is the most insidious because it is the most invisible. They have read the books. They have the vocabulary. They can describe their own mechanism with precision while remaining entirely inside it. They say, "I am deconstructing" for years. They say, "I am holding space for complexity." What they are doing is the same thing anyone else would do. They are not moving. The intelligence is in the service of the stillness. The reading becomes another wall, another way to feel safe while changing nothing. They become experts at describing the cage and never touching the lock. The high achiever builds certainty through accomplishment. Each win is proof that their framework works. Each loss is an anomaly to be explained away. They do not have faith. They have momentum. The terror waits in the stillness between projects, in the hotel room after the conference, in the moment before sleep when there is nothing to execute. They fill these gaps with more doing. The doing is not pursuit, it is avoidance. The God they serve is the one that never asks them to sit with the question they cannot answer. I have watched this across thousands of accounts. I do not have this pattern. I have only watched it. What I find remarkable is how little knowing that changes anything for the person who does. The cost is not the obvious one. The cost is not the enemies made or the bridges burned. The cost is the self that never forms. The person who has performed certainty for so long forgets what they actually believe. They become their own cover story. The doubt that was once a secret companion hardens into something else. It becomes a void where the self should be. They look back at 40, at 50, and cannot locate the person who wondered before they knew. That person was sacrificed to the performance. The performance became the self. And the self is lonely because it was built for an audience, not for intimacy. The late recognition is the cruelest. It comes when the body begins to fail, when the distractions thin, when the achievements no longer convince. They see the cage then. They see that the God they fought for was their own fear wearing a mask. They see that the people they exiled were not threats to truth, but mirrors they could not bear. The regret is not about doctrine. It is about the life spent defending a fortress that kept everything out, including the thing they were supposedly seeking. What usually happens to people who become aware of this pattern is that they build a new certainty around the awareness itself. They become certain that they are uncertain. They adopt deconstruction as identity. They perform openness the way they once performed conviction. The mechanism has simply found new clothing. It is still protecting the same secret. The rare exception is the person who stops performing altogether, who sits in the gap without filling it, who lets the doubt exist without resolving it into a new story. This is rare because it feels like dying. The self that was built on certainty experiences the absence of certainty as annihilation. Most will not choose it. Most will find a new God. Smaller, more subtle, but still made in their image, still demanding the same blood. The next time you feel certain, ask which God you are actually serving. The one who watches, or the one you made to watch your back. The one who asks you to love the enemy, or the one who blesses your enemy as the exception. The question is not whether you believe. The question is whether you have ever allowed yourself to not believe, to sit in that space, to feel what is actually there when the performance stops. Most people will not. Most people will die in the cage and call it devotion. And the part of them that knew, the part that watched from the corner, will close its eyes and pretend not to see.